The war against truth runs deep within the Western world. What we have is an all-out assault on moral values, values which have endured for centuries. Of course, those publicly pushing this war the hardest attest that there is no war, merely a search for truth. The reality is that facts about the true value of traditional marriage are being methodically suppressed. Miriam Grossman served as psychiatrist at UCLA, one of the most well-known universities in the United States. She wrote in a book titled Unprotected, a powerful indictment on the takeover of university campus health centers by a radical elite. As she writes in her introduction, "I once assumed campus medicine and psychology had one priority: student well-being. I'm no longer so naive. Radical politics pervades my profession, and common sense has vanished." She describes the situation as being far worse than the absence of common sense, as it has a well-intended but identifiable goal. The nurse teaching your daughter about herpes, a sexually transmitted disease, the social worker assuring your son about his homosexual thoughts. These people may have a vision for social change that you don't share. They may see their jobs as an avenue for activism, and one of their goals is to influence your child. Their goal is an androgynous culture where the differences between male and female are discounted or denied, and the bond between them robbed of singularity. These words were written in 2007, and they may have been difficult to believe at the time, but they have proven to be accurate. One institution which stands in staunch opposition to this end goal of an androgynous culture, and thus must be diminished if not outright destroyed, in order for the goal to be reached, is the family unit, centered on traditional marriage. It should also not take us by surprise when university-based publishing houses carefully screen the messages going out to make sure they meet the criteria of political correctness. Anything highlighting the importance or value of traditional marriage must be suppressed. David Kapelian, author of The Marketing of Evil, tells the story of how Harvard University Press contracted with University of Chicago sociologist and professor Linda Waite and co-author Maggie Gallagher to write a book on the subject of marriage. Ms. Waite had extensively studied the subject and was a self-described liberal. Kapelian describes what happened. Apparently, the Harvard-based publishing house expected the book to do the politically correct thing and disparage marriage, as is so common among today's academic elite. But as the Harvard scholars reviewed the manuscript, they found it revealed married men and women live happier, healthier, more financially secure lives, and even have more and better sex. So naturally, the university's publication board members decided at the last minute not to publish the book, titled The Case for Marriage: Why Married People Are Happier, Healthier, and Better Off Financially, a book they themselves had commissioned. Now, why was it pulled from publication? One Harvard Press reviewer said she didn't like the book's tone. That's about as close to an answer as the public ever got. Waite and Gallagher were able to find a publisher for their book, and it opens with an apt description of the war being waged on marriage. In America, over the last 30 years, we've done something unprecedented. We have managed to transform marriage, the most basic and universal of human institutions, into something controversial. For perhaps the first time in human history, marriage as an ideal is under sustained and surprisingly successful attack. Sometimes the attack is direct and ideological, made by experts who believe a lifelong vow of fidelity is unrealistic or oppressive, especially to women. The Western world is now almost entirely held captive by political correctness mafias. Lies abound everywhere. Truth is censored. Step out of line and you are subject to ridicule, intimidation, or shunning. You might even lose your job. The truth concerning the tremendous value of traditional marriage is being suppressed, and society is suffering as a result.
If you liked this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And for more content like this, please visit our website at tomorrowsworldviewpoint.org.